thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I saw the thing and then didn't get the button. Okay, so
We're just
we're
gonna press the
actually,
rewind.
yeah, no, so we're actually live now. Welcome everybody to NFT Intel. It is Monday, the 7th, no, the 24th of October. We are glad to have you with us. Anybody who's been waiting for like the next, for the last 15 minutes or 14 minutes knows that we weren't live. So we're just gonna, the button didn't get hit, and now here we are. We just got done really digging into Aptos. Got a TLDR for anybody? As embarrassing as it is, it is what it is. We can't change it. What's up, Dozer?
Yeah, sure. Why don't we just recap what we were talking about? Um, I'll tee it up for you guys. So I guess the main points were Aptos is here to be a nice Solana rival, which I encourage rivalry and challengers to come in, and it sort of makes the whole ecosystem better, forces innovation and things like that. Aptos launched just only a couple of days ago. I think that they came in around $1 billion market cap. There was some heavy price drop on the first day. You see that kind of thing happen all the time with ICOs and IPOs and things like that. Volatile trading. Um, Aptos is being compared to a previous blockchain that rivaled Solana called Near. They launched NFTs a little while back. Aptos is sort of coming in at a better time though. In a or, um,
No, you're
I'm
okay.
so sorry. Hold on.
Wow, just as we
Uh,
actually go live, Dozer, you rugged us.
Shame.
I know, very shame. So there was a lot of big brain conversation that happened a few minutes ago before we actually realized that the live button, the stream was happening, but the button was not live. Aptos, Aptos blockchain, really quickly, get a aptoslabs.com or .aptos, aptos.systems. We can find a lot of stuff, even DeFi. So I actually am gonna move us on from that, even though we already went through it. I guess the summary was that people are jumping from NFTs. Aptos is going to be around for a while. It's got lots of money behind it, lots of big VCs, lots of professional project runners, ex Facebook, Libra Diem folks. Tokens were all airdropped. Low validators, low transactions per second right now, but the blockchain has not seen scale. Wow, trying to condense 10 minutes into like two here.
Yeah, it's
And
not
all the
easy.
while, yeah, and all the while having fun knowing that we talked for 15 minutes before we actually weren't even live on the channel. So for those of us that are here now, we really welcome you. We'll see if I can get this recording up and maybe get some more Aptos information from that. So we're gonna move on from Aptos into talk about Feeble Labs. And this one I'm going to toss to Dozer. This is an NFT project. Again, for those of you just joining us, we are talking about projects that don't have like any inevitable mints. These are all like longer plays. So it's a little bit different intel this week. Dozer, what do we got on Feeble Labs?
yeah, for sure. Like you said, these are sort of ongoing mint projects where we're not seeing a defined start and defined stop date for the mint. So Feeble Labs, they are, I use this term loosely, minting on Solana. That's ongoing. It is, so the best way to describe it is their mint is a Twitter engagement driven mint. So that means the more you engage with their Twitter account, there is a tracker, a bot that they have set up where they reward the accounts that sort of drive the most likes, comments, retweets, things like that. And they reward you by letting you pick and choose one of their Feeble Labs little sheep or lambs or whatever they are. They allow you to mint one for free. And then they sort of gamify the whole system by forcing you to keep them alive, also with more Twitter engagement. So they're tracking your whole Twitter account during this process, at least just from a public view. You know, you don't need to give them any credentials or anything like that. It's all public knowledge where they can see what you're liking and things like that. You can do that with anyone's Twitter account that's set to public. So this has been going on for a couple of weeks now, still ongoing. There's still plenty of their sheep to mint out. Last I checked, it's sort of difficult to tell, but it's about 50% are taken and minted out to people. Some people have multiple, some people only have one. Some people who want one have none. So it's sort of an interesting, it's something that we've seen in the past before where projects use Twitter engagement to, to determine who they should reward. But this is a way that I've never seen it before. I don't know if you guys ever have, where they're actually using metrics, defined metrics. They haven't really exactly released those to the public, but it's not just random or up to like a moderator to pick and choose who they think they see with the most engagement. So a few more facts about them, then I'll let you guys sort of give your 2 cents. But there's no secondary available for them right now, so this is a pretty low risk, but there's no immediate reward to this play. So, go on their Twitter, like a couple of tweets, see if you get a lamb. You're not going to be able to do anything with it for a little while. You get to pick which one you want. It's going to sit in your wallet for a minute, maybe a couple more weeks. But once these mint out, I think that, if their engagement on Twitter keeps, either going horizontal or if it increases, I don't see why these wouldn't have some kind of secondary play down the line. What do you guys think of Feeble? It's definitely, it's new. It's refreshing to see, to me.
No, I totally agree. I think the idea of like incentivized engagement, right? It's what a project has always said that they wanted from you without like always blatantly saying it, and it being one of the best ways for them to feel comfortable allowing them to mint whatever the project is. So I think having something like Feeble Labs' architecture for their whitelist allocation and then gamifying it is interesting. It keeps people engaged for the next NFT airdrop. And it's new. I don't think enough people really incentivized people to pay attention to a project before they mint, really, before their mint day. And this is, I think, a really interesting way of doing it with non-fungible tokens.
Agreed. Yeah, their sort of about page doesn't have a whole lot on it on top of what I described, but it seems like that they have, a decent team behind them. One thing that I actually didn't notice at first when I was minting these, because I grabbed a couple myself since they're free, and I was able to. I didn't notice, but I'm seeing this now, that in the bottom right of each image there's a QR code that when you scan it, it takes you to a sub-DAO within their ecosystem that, I don't actually know exactly what it does, but I'm assuming it takes you to people who hold other similar ones. So I'm going to do that after after we hop off of here and see sort of what that is. But that's another cool like social engagement thing that have a QR code right on the NFT. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I personally think more NFTs should do that to actually help you get to where you need to go within their projects. I started seeing these in timelines, a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, why are people minting lambs? Like, what is this? One, I didn't realize that they were free, right? And that it really was just engagement, and then learned a bit later about like the digital Tamagotchi sort of meta, which is kind of refreshing. I mean, it's hard. We've seen it before, soul flowers and whatnot. Like, you got to like maintain something to keep it alive. It doesn't necessarily mean that the NFT is going to be more valuable, right? Like, it just makes it more personal to you. I mean, you put gas in your car, right? You paint your house. You clean your kitchen, right? You do all these things all the time that are maintenance. And it's kind of cool to keep an NFT top of mind to do that. Now, again, it really kind of depends on what the reward is going to be for it, and if there's not a lot of information. But like you said, okay, well, now you have a sub community that you can be part of. And honestly, like, for stuff like this, it's kind of cool for me personally to like have these kind of robust communities that are not concerned with, is my floor price up? Is my floor price going to go down? Can I sell this? Am I going to make a profit? Right? Because we need to actually dig deeper, I think, in this NFT ecosystem to actually find the value that we call utility, that's more than just economics, right? I mean, there's tons of one-of-one art spaces that don't have the volume that these collections do, because people want to make money, and then they want to, and hardcore people want to stay with the community that they identify with. So it was a good find. Feeble Labs, lambdao.io. So Dozer, you've been doing this. So if I'm new to Lambdao, let's say I go right now, what are the mechanics for me getting a lamb?
I think that they make the first one relatively easy. It takes a little more work to get 2 or 3 lambs, but just go to their Twitter, like any tweets. I think that they make it so that tweets older than, I believe it's 4 days, don't really matter for their tracking. So you don't have to go back, until the beginning of their Twitter and like every post they've ever done. Go back, maybe like 10, 20 tweets that they've sent out, comment on a few. I comment on 1 or 2 every day, just something simple. Maybe tweet out at them. Nothing crazy. You don't have to try too hard to think up a tweet that's going to go viral or anything like that. They're just looking for very basic engagement. And then there's a Twitter. They have a bot account that tags people when they're given one of their lambs, and just wait. Hopefully you get tagged by their bot account, and if you do, go to whatever link that they tell you, and pick one up for free.
Cool. It looks like we have a Feeble guru in the chat. Daria says the QR code leads to subDAOs, which you've already said, or chat, where decisions are made for you. Not that familiar with you. I know that if you go to Feeble Labs, you is actually part of the roadmap here, but it's Project U. But that's kind of the overarching thing, and that the reward of interacting. Daria says the reward of interacting is that top interactors will earn the right to list first on secondary. So I guess there is a lot of there is a lot of gamification in what you're doing. So I'm going to look into it. I know that I've seen you and others like talk about your lambs all the time and picking up more lambs. It's just been kind of on the sidelines, but I guess I'm going to have to get into Lambdao. eventually. Not pumping my own bags because there's no secondary market for it.
Yeah, there are no.
All right, so you want to know more information? Lambdao.io, and of course on Twitter. Oh, you know what? I think I might actually have. Yeah, who is you? Here's their Twitter post right here. So, name at Feeble Labs. So let's move on. Getting close to Halloween and getting close to Brains plus Zombies. I've been waiting to talk about this one all night.
I like
Beautiful.
this one. This one's cool. They haven't released a whole lot about sort of the long-term goal of where they want their project to go, but I like what they've released so far. So what they're doing is they're also a free ongoing mint that it's structured a little different from Feeble, what we were just describing, but basically on their Twitter account, every couple of days they are releasing very small clusters of their mint. I think 700 to 1,000 at a time. And these are trading on secondary already. I think that they were going for a floor of like 1 SOL earlier, which is great because, that's already bullish to start. Because not too many people know about this, I don't think. And I think that they're gaining more traction as the days go on. So that should only increase, hopefully. So what they're doing is releasing their Brains NFT first, and then after that's complete, they'll move to their Zombies NFT. And I think that their plan is to release that around the end of October, right around Halloween time. And what will happen is you'll use, we've seen this part of it before, but you'll use the Brains portion of their NFT to upgrade the Zombies part of the NFT. And they are grouping together the different Zombies and Brains drops like they're doing right now into what they're calling seasons. So they're in season 0 right now, which is supposed to go through the end of the year. And I think that their tentative date to end is around December 31st. So that is the part that they haven't exactly released what they're planning to do once you have the Brains and eventually the Zombie NFT. But I'm guessing they'll do something like continue to gamify the whole process, put some bullish things on the roadmap like most projects do. So that's the project as a whole. There's one last kicker that I like seeing, and this is good for any project minting now, is that one, it's minting on, the Zombies are going to be minting on Hate Swap, and HGE has been tweeting about them over the past couple of days. So that right there is a engagement farm. I expect to see these, I think, gain traction in the coming days as more people sort of find out about them.
That traction is interesting, right? Because as we saw here on their Twitter, that they basically release these brain claims. They release these brain claims in waves, and they'll literally post up those brain claims, and they will be sold out in minutes. Like I saw it half an hour later today and popped, and they were all gone. Like I looked at it, they were all gone. You kind of actually have to you turn your notifications on Twitter if you have to. You kind of actually have to be there in order for it to for you to get one of these brains. So you kind of have to be on it. So it sounds to me like the traction's already pretty good. Anything HGE does right now, also people are looking for kind of where he's going, because Hades Swap is the zero royalty marketplace. And he's got a lot of traction in the influencer market. So without knowing much about it, it is brains plus zombies on Twitter, brains.zombies.rip. And when their drops are live, you can go ahead and claim your NFTs. I think you have to choose an NFT. You have to have a certain NFT in your wallet in order to do it too, right?
Yeah, Kris, that was the last point I was going to make, and I'll try to explain this the best I can. It's a little gray to me. I don't understand exactly how they're doing it, but basically, each wallet when you go to mint these is limited to two free mints or airdrops, whatever you want to call them. But you have to link that brain to another NFT that's already in your wallet. And it wasn't, for me, when I was trying to mint these earlier today, it wasn't working for, bogus garbage NFTs that were airdropped as scam tokens. I think the criteria is that it has to be projects that are verified on maybe Magic Eden or something like that, coming from legitimate projects. And you can see when you go onto the Brains collection on Magic Eden, you can see in the filter section which collection each one came from. Kind of interesting. I think it's probably useless. Maybe down the line they'll release some function for what that could do, but you can see some of them in there came from shadowy supercoders, or some of them came from ABCs. It's kind of cool. It's a really long list, but I don't think it means anything.
Yeah, when I looked at it earlier, I popped up with the burner wallet, and it only showed me the tokens that were in the burner wallet. Right, so it just was showing, and you don't actually burn the token to get the drop. You just have to associate it with something. You have to, like you said, it has to be something that's in the wallet. Again, this you gotta hook up on their Twitter account in order to get it. Feeble Labs, kind of same thing. And Aptos, let's just revisit that really quick. Basically new blockchain, similar a subset of Rust. It is a fully robust blockchain. It's not just for NFTs. It just happens that it is in the right place at the right time for people who are frustrated with Magic Eden, to find a new blockchain that maybe has something. And I said Magic Eden specifically there because they've kind of been at the center of this whole controversies of the whole debate of whether marketplaces should have the power to not charge royalties, or to allow the user, should they have the power to allow the user to tip or not to tip? You think about it the way I think about it is that if I go to a restaurant and I get a really great meal and I've had really good service, I'm gonna tip. If I'm gonna as an experience, right? If I have somebody park my car for me, I'm gonna tip, right? If I have somebody carry my bags up to my hotel room, I'm gonna tip. Those are different than actual royalties, but it's kind of the best way to explain how those royalties work, right? You can, in music industry, every time a song gets paid, the artist gets a penny, right? Because those are his royalties. That's how they make their living. A lot of these artists and a lot of these projects live off the royalties. So I guess everybody can, without me just saying it, everybody knows kind of where I stand on it. However, I don't believe that that Aptos is going to fix that. It's just another option for other things, because projects will do what they will do. Final thoughts? Are we doing spaces, Dozer?
Yeah, if you guys want to hop on, we can continue this conversation. We could talk maybe some more about Aptos.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I don't have the lower third was crashing the whole program last week, and so I got rid of it. But it is at Project Intel on Twitter. Dozer's gonna hook that up here shortly. We had a question about whether we were going to be on Spaces tonight, and it looks like we are. So at Project Intel, part 2 of this conversation, we can dig into Aptos, and we can get a lot of real-time back and forth. So gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Perma, thanks for hopping in place of Paul. And man, you know, we started on time. We just didn't actually. I didn't hit the stream. I didn't hit the stream until people figured out that we weren't live, and then we went ahead and we're live. So we've actually got 25 minutes into it. We're gonna pivot over to Spaces at Project Intel. Everybody, please remember to visit exodus.com/web3wallet to download your own web extension for Sol, multi-chain, ETH, Avalanche. What else we got? Phantom, Polygon, like multi-chain, multi-network is in our blood, and Exodus is now in the Web3 space. Watch out, everyone. We'll see you next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Spaces.